no threat from NATO, a defensive alliance that will not fight in Ukraine. This is another escalatory and unnecessary step that threatens us all. We urge Russia to tone down its dangerous rhetoric regarding nuclear weapons. These are issues that affect all member states, and now in the General Assembly, they can all make their voices heard on Russia's war of choice. We will then vote on a resolution that will hold Russia to account for its indefensible actions and for its violations of the UN Charter. As we speak, rockets continue to rain down on Kyiv and across Ukraine. Tanks are tearing through cities. Russia readies still more brutal weaponry. Bombs that flatten cities and indiscriminately target civilians for an unjustifiable assault fabricated out of lies and the rewriting of history. Russia also propagates outrageous lies about Ukraine's conduct in its own defense. We are alarmed by the mounting reports of civilian casualties, videos of Russians forces moving exceptionally lethal weaponry into Ukraine, and the widespread destruction of civilian facilities like residences, schools, and hospitals. To the Russian officers and soldiers, I say, the world is watching. Graphic and video evidence.
This is a procedural vote that they're going to take, and basically it refers the Ukraine crisis to the General Assembly. And what we're hearing is when it goes to the General Assembly this time, and this will be the second time in less than 2 weeks, they will try to put forward a resolution which will condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine and condemn the invasion, something that Russia vetoed just yesterday. Also, we should tell you that just before the meeting, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, rushed upstairs to the Secretary General's office for a quick meeting, and we hear that is about humanitarian access and humanitarian needs. There's also going to be a second Security Council meeting we're hearing tomorrow afternoon to specifically address humanitarian aid related to war. So, as you can hear, we have a Security Council meeting that is going on now. They're going to go around the table. We expect to hear from the Ukraine ambassador also speaking. Then tomorrow, a Security Council meeting will deal directly with humanitarian aid. Well, basically, the end of February is the end of the Russia's presidency of the Security Council. The Ukrainian ambassador raised the issue earlier yesterday that there was something in the documentation and procedures here at the UN whereby if the council is considering something or a crisis that has to do with your country, basically you can't be the president of the council. So it is a great symbolic move because basically it's sending it to the great moral stage of the General Assembly for further isolation. And there you'll see a huge count in terms of the number of countries that will be voting against Russia, to isolate Russia and to condemn them for their invasion of Ukraine, something that could not be done inside the Security Council. And that also will be followed by a Security Council meeting on humanitarian needs. The UN also, and keep in mind, can refer any of the evidence that Linda Thomas-Greenfield was referring to there to the International Criminal Court and also establish a mechanism for independently investigating war crimes. So there is a place for the UN here, and we have not seen the last of what the UN can provide beyond the means of just humanitarian aid. Well, first we're going to see a General Assembly meeting which was put together by the U.S. and Western allies. And this is to, again, single out Russia and isolate them. Now, we're looking for some kind of resolution which they have not yet tabled. But the idea would be to table a resolution that all the countries would vote on that would condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine right now, something they couldn't do in the Security Council. Then later in the afternoon, France has called for a Security Council meeting on the humanitarian crisis and how that is mounting day by day. We expect to hear from the humanitarian chief in the afternoon during that council meeting, that being Martin Griffith, to update us on what kind of basic access that the U.S. staff is getting there right now. They have roughly 1,500 staff members on both sides of the contact line in Donetsk, in Luhansk, in the eastern part of Ukraine. And now they are stepping up more of their aid to take care of a lot of the people that are coming across and the refugees that are also leaving the country right now.